Legion of Superheroes Millennium issue 1. Brian Michael Bendis writing with Andre Lima Araujo, Jim Lee, Dustin Wynn, and Andrea Sorrentino all on art.
Man, Sorrentino's on this book.
Yep.
God damn it.
Connor, you should have read this one, because out of all of them, it is the most standalone, I feel.
Of
Bendis's.
It is not about it being standalone, though, is it? It's that it's Bendis.
So apparently, preview pages were going around the internet, and I'm glad I don't click on that type of stuff, because when I opened the book, and it's featuring Rose Forrest of Rose and Thorn fame, I went, "Oh shit!" Not expecting that whatsoever. Especially because I've jumped right into the last time Rose and Thorn, the last 2 times she's really appeared in DC continuity. It was that Tom Taylor book, and I have 1 issue left of the Gail Simone and what's her name, Adriana Mello book from the early 2000s. So when I open this up, and there she is, oh boy, oh boy.
Yeah, I mean, I had no idea what the actual premise of this book was going to be. Like you, I had not looked at preview pages or anything like that. And it's it's Rose, and she's explaining who she is to someone we don't see quite right away. But it turns out to be Supergirl. So it's in the future, but it's not like it's in the future where Supergirl's like an old woman. She's like president,
and we know that the supers don't age. Well, we'll say they age gracefully.
Yes.
Right. On Earth. So who knows how long into the future this could be, but Rose tells her that she's checked and they are technically the same age.
Yeah.
But Rose hasn't aged, and she says it's because of Thorn. But as far as I know, she's just a normal human that, gets powered by rage, and, she beats up criminals as a vigilante.
Yeah, there's some mystery here, and her concern is that she's been taking medication that Lex invented a long time ago,
right?
That's kept Thorn at bay, but now that medication's being discontinued because no one needs it because everyone's all healthy because it's the future and everyone's
right,
like super beings or whatever. I don't know.
And that's what she's trying to explain to Supergirl is, you don't get it. I am as old as you. I need this. They don't make it. And I'm afraid what's going to happen when Thorn comes out.
And Thorn is aware of Rose, so Thorn's going to be pissed that she's not been out in centuries or whatever it's been.
Yeah, however long it's been.
Yeah, so that's a big thing. So yeah, and there's some nice 2-page spreads in this. There's like a scene of her fighting the Suicide Squad. By the looks of it,
it's the most I've enjoyed Jim Lee's art in quite some time. So there's of her fighting Superman too.
Yeah, that was the first one.
Really good.
Yeah, that was the first one. Yeah.
So, but yeah, and you get to Supergirl, and she calls him Madam President, and you're like, what is going on?
But then of course it says and then, and every time it says and then, there's a big time jump. So now Thorn's out, and she's tearing through thugs and whoever, and Batman Beyond shows up. We're further in the future now. Now we're in the Batman Beyond part of the timeline. And,
drawn beautifully by Dustin Wynn.
Yeah, this is the Dustin Wynn section. So
it feels like the old cartoon. He did a real good job.
Yeah, as much as there's 4 artists, and that's maybe a cause for concern at a glance, they're all different time periods and they all got different settings, so it's neatly split up. So she actually kidnaps him, Terry, and questions him.
She gets the jump on him because she has this, at first I didn't realize what was going on. I thought it was like a grenade or something, but it's like this round, looks like a billiard ball but chrome, right? And she touches it to him, and it KOs his suit, and then him in the process. And then she wakes up, and he wakes up, and she's got him basically bound. And she's basically picking his brain why he does what he does, because she just wanted to see Batman, and she was surprised it was a younger looking dude under there.
Yeah. Yeah. So we can't be that far now, because if the Batman Beyond logic in the comic still adheres to the show, then Bruce is still alive, or at least was recently.
Here's my take.
Yes.
It's not just the end then. This is different futures, so that it's not a coherent timeline, right? Where you have President Supergirl and then Batman Beyond and then the next one and then the following one. These are all different from different possible futures, and I feel by the end of the next one we'll get what has been going on.
Okay, maybe. I mean, because the next one after this is definitely further ahead in the future.
Yeah.
So I was taking it more as a linear thing, where this is her through, like, we keep jumping ahead like big chunks of time, and seeing where she is. But yeah, so she's disappointed it's not the real Batman. And
she calls him another Bat baby, and that's my new favorite term.
So then we skip ahead again, and this time we're in Commandy time, and she actually comes and steals the Superman suit that they've got, like, put up, and she actually, she actually cuts off the head of
Dr. Zaius.
Yeah, she cuts.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, she cuts off his head and steals the suit, and then is annoyed that it doesn't fit, and she's like, "Oh, well, I thought the suit would give me powers or something."
And she goes, "Effing internet."
Yeah.
I thought that was really great.
Yeah, that was the other thing that made me feel like it was actually going through Lena, is that she kept referencing the internet. Like, every time she brought something up, she's like, "Oh, remember the old internet?" Or she kept making the same references.
Yeah, but that could be, also, because from what I know about Commandy is there's a big cataclysm that happens, and then, I feel like this is an odd timeline to go from.
Well, Matt, here's some evidence to suggest that it's the same timeline. Is that in the Commandy timeline, she seems to be building a ship, like, because Commandy's like shocked that she's got a place with electricity. She doesn't understand what that is, and I'm pretty sure that's a spaceship she's building at the top of that thing, which leads to the fact that in the next jump she's in a different planet. She's moved from Earth.
See, I thought that was Earth.
The last section, it's not. No, she references. This is not like where she's from. Like, she references coming from a different planet.
Oh, you're right. The animals, they all talked.
Yeah.
Huh. I missed that. I was reading it quick.
Yeah. So at the very least, this and the last one are definitely seem to be linear. And if those two are linear, then I have to imagine all of it is. So.
Shoot.
Yeah, very.
Because now this is Rose. So it was Rose and then Thorn and then Rose to cap it off.
Yeah, and she's debating with this guy. She's trying to get into this this enlistment thing, and she gets flagged as a dangerous person. But the guy's really nice to her, and she's really nice to him. He's like, by the way, if I come back and act more slutty, like, you're probably going to get killed. It's not a threat. Just run.
Yeah, she hates when people embarrass me.
Yeah. So we actually end this, and I actually laughed out loud at the end because she's being chased by all these cops in what I would call as flying segways, and she actually hijacks one from a janitor. She kicks him off, and his broom goes flying. That made me laugh.
Can I just, having not seen this,
yes,
the flying segways you describe sound like what Orion rides.
Kind of, but they look more like a flying scooter than his.
Yeah,
this is a harness.
I think the hoverboard from Back to the Future, but with a Segway sort of style, like, handle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is what I would describe it as.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is interesting. I had no idea what to expect from this. Obviously, it's leading to a Legion book, and it says next time, we're going to actually meet the Legion.
Yeah.
But no, it's interesting. I like the idea that we have a character who's been introduced in Action Comics. Obviously, she's been around before, but the Bendis has reintroduced her in Action Comics, and she's going to just be alive the entire time until Legion, until that part of the timeline, and still be around. That's intriguing to me.
Well, and I was worried that she was dead at the end of Action. I know you talked about Action last week, but and I was like, oh no, but this is like, oh no, she survives, and she's going. And I definitely recommend to you guys, if you can track down that Simone, it's very early 2000s in its presentation, but Mello's art is fantastic. It's got Adam Hughes covers that are great, and it really kind of does set the tone for who this character is. So seeing her through this and whatnot, like, it was, again, nice surprise.
Yeah, and I think it was nice to have a through line, because I wasn't sure if this was going to be like, here's 50 Legion members, get to know them quickly or whatever. And it was like, no, this is one character story, and And I think more importantly, it's a character who we are following before she discovers the Legion. So I feel like Bendis is actually, from the impression I'm getting, is that Bendis is going to do a really easy job of easing everyone into
The Legion.
the Legion as a concept. It's like, here's a character that we're following.
Yeah, it's also called Millennium, so we know it takes place over 1,000 years.
Yeah. So just the idea that he is like, like this character represents someone who's going to be asking all the questions that we need to know. All the questions that we need is this character who can like give us exposition or ask for the exposition in a really neat way. And we've mostly had fun. I think with this character recently, and no, I enjoyed this well enough.
Yeah. Me too.
Obviously, the art was back and forth.
Yeah, out of all the art, I mean, the Sorrentino stuff with Commandy was great. I wasn't a fan of the last art, which is the Aruhao, however you pronounce it. Well, I wasn't a big fan. I'm trying to see what else he's worked on. That's what I'm looking at. I think this is his first DC book, though. So, Avengers AI, Astonishing Spider-Man, Spider-Verse. So, I mean, it's fine. It's just not my cup of tea. But the Jim Lee stuff was better than I've seen out of him in quite some time. And it's always nice to see, Nguyen doing stuff for DC. So, yeah, I was surprised how much I like this. Like, yeah, it's got Legion on the front, but, who knows how it was going to be pulled off. And, man, Bendis does it again.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I mean, Bendis has got like 5 ongoing books at this point, but here we are. I dug this. I think as someone who is fairly new to Legion, this seems to be a nice, smooth introduction. We're not even at the Legion yet. We're getting to know this character and her struggle before she gets to the Legion, and hopefully that should go nice and smooth. So, what are you giving it out of 10?
I'm gonna give it an 8. Because again, that last art wasn't as much, and a bit of confusion up until I reread, that last part. So, but yeah,
I'm gonna give it 8.5. I feel like I was pleasantly surprised, and it felt like a nice solid story about one character. I went into it being kind of worried that it might be a less accessible, and it gave me something that feels like this does feel like a nice starting place that's going to lead in nicely to the ongoing book. But it's clearly separate from just number 1 of the Legion comic when it hits. So, no, 8.5 from me.